the heart of the home is the kitchen. So we brought in the chief CEO of the National Kitchen and Bath Association. And I would say this in front of all the directors of associations out there. He is the role model on how to run an association. I mean, he does great research for his members. He runs KBIZ, which he's fresh off of that. And not having to be virtual this year. Congratulations on that, Bill. I didn't have to send you a bottle of whiskey again after what I did last year. And on CNBC, talking about trends all the time, Bill Darcy, Carrie Kelly is with him too. I know Bill introduced us to Carrie. I think he considers her, and we all do too, the expert on wellness and industry trends in the house. And then Steve Bastion, who's going to moderate the panel. Steve's been with us for 4 years now. He was in the M&A department at Kohler, so he was looking at pretty much every industry in the house. And I guess I haven't seen you in a while. I didn't see the stash, Steve. So congrats on that. And I'm going to turn it over to you guys.
Thanks, John. Really appreciate you covering those intros. Bill and Carrie, really nice to see you. It has been a while. It's been a while since we've got to see each other. Really a joy. Thank you very much for joining us. I just want to start by kind of acknowledging just how amazing our industry is. 2021 really was a great year for kitchen and bath, pretty much an unprecedented year on the pro side for demand. And 2022, really everything we see in our research continues to suggest that it will be as good or better. And I think the timing of this talk is great. You guys are coming off of a fresh, amazing week at KBIZ, 70,000 people at the tail end of a pandemic. It's quite incredible. So congratulations. And there's just really no denying when you look at all the PR that consumers have a lot of love for the kitchens and baths. And I'm just really happy to moderate this panel. So the panel is the heart of the home. How is it shifting? And, in our industry, we often hear, the kitchen is the heart of the home. I think most people would agree with that. And it's been true for so long. But when you think about it, it hasn't always been, for most of the 20th century, it was kind of a utility, it was a place to kind of prep and do dishes. And it wasn't really an entertainment area at all. And, it wasn't really till the 80s that you saw architects kind of embrace those larger kitchens. Islands. When I think of kind of what makes the kitchen the heart of the home, I think of the island. It's a place to co-locate and it provides flow, and it really just allows people to just sit down and embrace kind of their day and talk about it with their families. So the island is the hub, and just like you wouldn't want to spend a lot of time in like a roundabout that doesn't have a center median, you wouldn't really want to spend a lot of time in a kitchen with an island, but there's so many other trends that really make the kitchen what it is. And I just want to kind of talk about those today. I want to talk about what the future kitchen might look like. The island probably won't ever go away. I think that's here to stay. I think we can all agree. But there are other things that do come and go. So kind of want to get your thoughts on those. We're going to do a little bit of a game of kind of hot or not. I think we're going to look at 10 pictures or so of some kitchen trends that we see in our research. Obviously that, we see in your research, because you guys are absolutely the experts and the authorities on kitchen and bath design. So we're going to go ahead now and just take a look at a PowerPoint that I pulled together showing these trends. I'll just share my screen.
While you're getting there, Steve, just to say thank you to John and yourself and also to Carrie for joining us and coming off of the show. It's still we're still on cloud nine from having 70,000 in person there. We talk about, getting back to it and it couldn't have been bigger for us. So thank you for acknowledging that.
Yeah, of course. No, thank you guys. We really appreciate you taking time on your day. Can't imagine how busy you are this week. So really, again, thank you. So here's some 10 kitchen trends. We had a longer list. We've narrowed it down. We don't have a ton of time here, but I just want to kind of acknowledge them. And some of these we heard from Todd and Michaela. So really just want to hear your thoughts, kind of that expert opinion. We can say, they're having a moment, they are totally here to stay, or maybe these trends are kind of on their way out. We'd kind of love to hear your guys' expert views on these 10 trends. So the first is we're starting to see kind of consumers really embrace the need for more concealed appliances, toasters that are hidden behind tower walls, or microwaves that maybe live in a cabinet drawer. They just don't want to see this stuff. They don't want to see the beverage filter on the outside of the fridge. They want to see it integrated on the inside. Is this something that you guys think is here to stay? It's having a moment. Is it like a temporary kind of fad? Just curious, Carrie, if you have an opinion on that, or Bill.
And maybe I'll take this one first, Carrie, if you're fine with
Sure.
that. And it's funny because my wife just put away the air fryer this week, and we're just it's like, I'm sick of looking at that thing. And it was becoming such a thing, but it's like, I can't see it anymore. I think this is here to stay. I think homeowners are looking for places to store things, less clutter. I think the clean, minimal design is the basis for the contemporary modern kitchen style. And we see that remaining popular over the next several years.
Thanks, Bill.
Marie Kondo has influenced all of us, and this is one area for sure.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I forgot about Marie. Okay, this is one that like grinds my gears, and I'll just say my piece and then let you guys opine. But kind of the integrated office space in the kitchen. We talked about this a lot. Did the pandemic accelerate this? I don't think it's functional at all. It looks cute. It really is. It's a cute feature. But is it functional? You saw a lot of this in the 90s and the 2000s when kitchens were bigger, homes were bigger, which was odd because you could also have a separate office space. Now that homes are getting smaller, I think you're seeing it more. Is this here to stay? Are people going to just one day go, this doesn't make sense? We know that consumers want more storage. We heard that from Todd and Michaela. Is this a waste of space?
I feel like it is a waste of space. I feel like we're seeing flex spaces throughout the home in every room. So this isn't necessary. That kitchen island sure serves as a flex space, and multiple areas are supporting our lifestyle. And I think that could be used for entertaining or just have a much more productive use that lets everyone be part of the cooking and entertaining of the household.
I think one other thing to add is just, the laptop has changed everything. You have Wi-Fi and laptop. You don't need anything really besides a surface. So for us, when we redid our kitchen recently, my youngest son needs mom to help him with the homework while she's making dinner. And so as long as he's got a place to put his stuff, like the island, she can work and do her thing. So for us, 100%, I think you just need flexible space everywhere. And that dedicated office-y looking thing is not really, cool anymore.
Not sexy.
Okay, this is one that might be maybe like a Bowen under trend. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks it's got legs, but kitchens are getting bigger. You're starting to see less even nooks, banquets and tables and separate dining areas. Is this something that has staying power? An island that can seat 8 people or 10 people in lieu of any formal dining space. Maybe in southern markets where you can have an outdoor dining space, it has legs. But is this something you guys think it has staying power? What are you seeing in the work that you do, Carrie, at Carrie Kelly Design Lab? Is this something consumers want more of? Just kind of curious your thoughts.
Yeah, well, in my own kitchen, actually, we installed 2 islands. One is a dining island and one is a cooking island. We did eliminate the banquette, that eat-in area, just because of that flex conversation that we're having. So large kitchen islands, double islands, I think they're here to stay. And again, supporting that lifestyle of the home that we've really embraced these past couple of years and understood these past couple of years.
We've also seen, we heard whispers that the open floor plan would diminish, and I don't think it's going to. And it's just what we've been talking about with the work from home and the flex space needs. And it's kind of back to why were we even gonna diminish that? Because it just makes a lot of sense. So, and we've been watching the walls come down for years, and I think you're just gonna keep seeing that open plan design with the big island.
Yeah, this is one of those trends that is just a net positive to spending growth. You don't building materials, the amount of building materials for a bigger island. I mean, that's a big deal. That sale doesn't go to the furniture manufacturer anymore. It goes to the kitchen and bath manufacturers. So it could be a net positive for our industry for sure. Minimalist design. We talked a little bit about this with concealed appliances, but I want to maybe probe kind of a thought-provoking or maybe controversial trend here. We're starting to see kind of a little bit of design that eliminates that bar faucet, that separate kind of bar sink in the kitchen, less stuff, just really a lot of counter space, simple faucets and kitchen sinks, kind of more of a minimalist design. maybe because they are getting that separate sink and faucet out in the outdoor kitchen, right? Because we're seeing that kind of become more of a full service kitchen, less of like a barbecue island. Is this something you guys can confirm? What are your thoughts on just less is more, as far as plumbing fixtures or sinks and things like that in the kitchen, maybe just one instead of two?
Yeah, I like the idea of less is more, but truly, I think as far as the function and that inclusivity of all age groups and friends and family enjoying that cooking and that cooking activity really being amplified, we need the additional sink. We need to keep that and have that outdoor area. I think we've embraced the outdoor kitchen as well, not only for visual square footage, but for usable square footage that creates experiences in that outdoor environment.
Thanks, Carrie.
I think you're also seeing the threat of the millennial buyer influence on the clean lines and the more European or modern styling. We went from traditional to transitional to transitional to more contemporary, and I think that's kind of a threat across the board in what we're seeing. Our members are seeing in the consumers that they're interacting with is just that millennial buyer is becoming a real thing, and you are one of those, Steve. So you have this. The power of the millennial buyer that was when they get to be a real buyer, you're going to start to see what we're seeing right now.
Okay, so the plumbing manufacturers can take a deep breath. You're not going to lose spec space. Okay, that's good to hear. This is another kind of controversial one. The cabinet industry kind of had a tough go for maybe a decade or so as kind of the uppers shifted to more floating shelf, kind of open concept specifications. And is it functional? Is it here to stay? I don't know. I don't have an opinion on this. You guys would know more than me, but certainly you don't get as much space when you have 2 or 3 shelves versus having kind of a full set of uppers.
And what we're seeing just as a generalization, from all designers is it's not maybe not for everyone, but it's here to stay. For the right application, if no or fewer upper cabinets is the ideal solution when designers want to replace the walls with windows or bring in more natural light, which is obviously a big part of not only sustainable and the natural, kind of design trend. I think it's also popular in the design element when you have, comfortable reach for homeowners, living in place ideas where you have multiple generations in the home that need to access things. Carrie could probably add a lot more to that.
Yeah, just that grab and go concept is wonderful on the functional side, and even zoning certain areas that maybe you have your smoothie glasses in one area and your coffee cups in another area. I think it's a great opportunity to introduce the organic elements that we're seeing. So that wood grain, really introducing that as you see in this photo. That's a great example of that. However, homeowners that aren't so tidy maybe won't embrace this as much going forward because there is definitely a certain aesthetic that goes along with it.
Yeah, we see from Marie Kondo that people do struggle to stay organized in their homes. It's just, it's not a priority when you got kids and other things to worry about.
Sure.
Apron front sinks. I mean, this has been a trend for a while. You see conversion from stainless steel to stainless steel, undermount stainless steel to kind of even stainless steel apron front, fire clay, enameled cast iron, obviously a heritage material set there. Is this here to stay? I think it might be. I don't know, but I'd love to hear from you guys.
Bill, you want to take this? I know.
Yeah. Well, first, we have some. I think also Carrie does work all over the place, but obviously she's a trendsetter in Northern California, very progressive market, and so. However, we just put a farmhouse sink in our kitchen in our 2020 remodel, and we love it, and we hope it's not heading out too soon. Interestingly enough, for us at NKBA, that the sink we're watching closely is this workstation sink. And I don't know if your viewers have heard of this. Our research suggests they're going to continue to grow in popularity. We saw them a lot at KBIS. And the interesting part about it is they use multiple functions within one sink. So you can prepare, you can cook, you can serve, you can even set out drinks and hors d'oeuvres on this. So I encourage everybody to Google workstation sink and check that out. I'm not sure what you're seeing, Carrie.
A 60-inch kind of wide, more commercial style.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a cool, different thing. They isolate the mess. They make, preparing and cleaning easier. But it's very, kind of new to our designer members and what they're seeing. But, Carrie can probably talk more about the farmhouse, sink versus this new functional environment better.
I love the workstation sink, the workhorse sink that just really does it all. And the only reason why I feel like we may see this apron front going out a bit is because we're definitely seeing shiplap go out a bit, and they're all part of that same farmhouse aesthetic. I think there's great innovation that's happening even with matte gold versions of this sink. So I think we have a few more iterations to go, but seeing that shiplap is, we love Chip and Joanna, but enough with the shiplap and the sink might be tossed out with that.
I love that. I learned something today. That's awesome. I'll have to look
One nugget.
at that more. This is a trend that we're seeing. Again, kind of one of those trends that is good for the kitchen and bath industry, because these are, our core manufacturers. But historically, you really only saw kind of the slab backsplash and more real, ultra modern, design aesthetics. More contemporary modern design aesthetics, but now you're seeing it in traditional and transitional designs. I mean, are people moving away from subway tile and tiles to, slab backsplashes? I think that's something that certainly we hope we should be able to answer for our clients. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, well, NKBA design trends, our 2022 design trends research has the top 2 backsplash styles being for the next 3 years. Most popular, long subway and slab, which is interesting. But again, I think it's this millennial contemporary influence. And even if you have bits and pieces of that influence, you're seeing things that you, as Steve said, you said, Steve, you might not have seen before, like grabbing these elements. And I'm sure Carrie can talk about the maintenance too. You're seeing that.
Yeah, I love the low maintenance factor of it. And even the drama in both of these pictures, whether we've gone white with some veining or have that contrast with the black or dark blue there, I think it's dramatic. And to be able to really cook and really use our kitchens and have things splash up and just wipe it right away, no grout, that's something that's very appealing to homeowners.
Yeah, the low maintenance is a trend that I don't think will ever go away.
Right.
Wall ovens, you saw them a lot in the 80s, 90s. They used to be kind of the big units, kind of the big upper, the big lower. You're seeing some more like steam ovens up top now, some smaller kind of more compact units, in that upper kind of oven. Are these here to stay? I mean, are they anything you can talk about? Are they economical? Are they, sustainable? Do people need 2 or 3 ranges or ovens, or are they, is one, better? I don't have a strong opinion, but it's something that certainly we're seeing, and kind of would love to hear your guys' opinion.
I think it's here to stay depending on the layout. And I think there's so much innovation that, especially that we saw at KBIS, related to layout and function. So whether that's a microwave drawer that's tucked away that you don't have to see, that would eliminate some of this bulkiness that you see in this photo, or the health and wellness side of the steam oven, people are embracing it. It really depends on layout and lifestyle. But even as far as cooktops and their configuration, gone are the days that we feel like we have to stick to that rectangle. There's so many things happening that allow us to really have customization in the kitchen for whatever our health lifestyle, cooking lifestyle is for our family and our friends.
Thanks, Carrie.
I can't say any more than that. I mean, it's really just about what you need. It's not so much about where the oven is, or is it double or whatever. I mean, we had a wall oven. We thought about the double because that's kind of, you hear a lot about, that's the way to go. But we ended up with a range with 2 side ovens. So the ovens are double, but they're side by side. It's not wall oven per se, but you're still ending up with 2 cooking appliances that are connected together. So one is a steam and one is traditional. So again, I think a lot has to do with what you cook and what you eat and how you are accommodated. So to me, I think they're here to stay for the application that, is what your consumer wants.
Layout.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks, white kitchens. This is maybe the most argued about. Are we going back to wood? I mean, we're seeing it. We're seeing those kind of handsome, warmer tones start to come back. maybe Carrie, I'm sure you live on the leading edge. You would know.
Oh gosh. Well, I definitely think we're introducing organic elements, and after installing a gazillion white kitchens, we don't want people to throw the baby out with the bathwater there. But I think there are certain wood elements that can be integrated and incorporated and almost like a furniture style. So we're seeing cane in the kitchen. We're seeing very innovative refrigerator panels that tuck that refrigerator away visually, but provide interest at the same time. So the way the wood is being introduced is almost like artwork to a certain extent. So don't go crazy if you have a white kitchen, it's all good. But we may be introducing color and organic elements in different ways.
Yeah, it's interesting. We saw, I think it was the 2020 KBIS show, we saw a lot of the navy, the blue kitchen, and then we were seeing some green kitchens coming forward. And our designers joke about the white a lot. It's the most popular, and is it really going to be? It's hard for me to believe it's not, because it always is kind of there, whether it's not there for a period and it's back. We have seen, some moving away from the white and gray as primaries, these accent islands and that type of thing, as Carrie does a lot of those. So, and the nature, the natural products and organic. But this white thing, I'm not going to believe the white is gone until we go for like 5 straight years without white, because it just keeps coming back. And, again, going too crazy, we always learn, like, what do you want to change that keeps sustainability to it? I mean, we would have loved to do a blue kitchen, but we really thought about, like, we're going to live with this thing for 10 years. Are we going to regret this in 5? Maybe not, the first few years, but, that's the thing that scares me about the sustainability of color. It looks awesome, but can you live with it long term?
Yeah. It's one of those things we get asked, because, the Tuscan kitchens, those are kind of becoming into prime remodel years, the mid 2000s, and nobody wants to replace their wood kitchen with another wood one. They see the white, they've been dreaming about it. That's what they want. So, it's an interesting phenomenon that we are starting to see that shift back to some warmer accents.
Steve, we're at time, and I've got to end this. I've got to end this with, we can't change the white kitchen because we just spent a fortune 2 years ago doing ours in white. So please, 20 years of white kitchen. That's all I ask.
I think you're all right, John.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys very much for spending some time going through, opining on some of the trends we're seeing. I think this was enjoyable and helpful to all on the line. You guys are the authorities, and just thank you for representing our industry so well, and I'm really happy to have you.
Well, we appreciate our partnership with you guys as well. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you, guys.
You bet.